Hello. Today we're going to be talking about how to set up and run a microscribe using Point2CAD inside of SolidWorks. So first off, we want to make sure that we download the command plate for Point2CAD. We can find this in the Point2CAD user manual PDF, which is located in Computer, C Drive, Program Files, 3D Infotech, Point2CAD. And when we bring up that user manual on page 29, we'll find the Point2CAD command plate. So this is the command plate that we use inside of Point2CAD. This is how we interface the easiest to the specific functions inside of Point2CAD. I would also highly recommend taking a look at this user manual. We have a lot of really good information in here. It'll really answer 95% of the questions that you're going to have about the Point2CAD software. So once we've printed off the Point2CAD command plate and we have it sitting at our desk, we're going to want to somehow fixture it down so that it's pretty stable. We can either use tape. I know I back mine in cardboard to make it a little bit stiffer, that way I can carry it around from place to place, and it just makes it a little bit more durable. And then I'll also put silly putty on the back to stick it down on the desk. So you can use that method, or you can just tape the piece of paper down to your desk. You can laminate it, whatever your choice is in making this command plate usable for you. So once we have that command plate on our desk, let's go ahead and open up SolidWorks and go ahead and open up a new part. So I have a new part pulled up here, and we're going to want to go to the Point2CAD tab inside of SolidWorks. So inside of the Point2CAD tab, we'll go to Settings, and the first thing we want to do is make sure that we have the microscribe series arms selected. If you're using a G2 arm or a 3D series arm, G2X or 3DX, we'll want to make sure that our tip diameter is 0 if you're using the default tip, and if you're using a MX or a MLX, we want to make sure it's set up to 3 millimeters for the default tip. And if you're using another offsets type of tip, you can put that value in, and you can also put the shaft length offset in to set up that tip correctly for probe compensation. So other than that, we have a few other settings that we can play around with inside of our Point2CAD settings, but that's going to get you started measuring properly the first time. So we'll go ahead and close that out, and then we will define our command plate. So this is the last icon that you, let me step back, and first we're going to turn our arm on. So go ahead and turn on the arm. It's going to automatically open up the info panel. If it doesn't, just click info panel and it'll bring it up. So we've got our info panel sitting here. It gives us our XYZ coordinates of the microscribe arm. Also, it's whatever units we're working in. And in this box down here, it's going to give us our info about the specific functions that we use. So now we will hit the define command plate icon, which is the last icon that you have to use your mouse for. So we'll go ahead and hit define command plate, and you'll see this icon where the probe's sitting on these 3 screws. What we'll want to do is I start out with the screw on the far left and go to the screw to the top right, and then the screw to the bottom right. Now when we're using the microscribe hand switch, for the newer models, you want to use the top hand switch is going to be our green button, and then our bottom button is going to be our red button, which also functions as a race. So we'll go ahead and use our green button, set up our command plate, and now hit the green button one more time to define OK. Alright, and once we've done that, we're ready to go. So on our command plate, the first thing we're going to want to do is define a coordinate system. So we'll hit the define coordinate system function, and we'll go ahead and set up our coordinates. So we have two different options. We have the plane line point or the three perpendicular planes. I generally use plane line point on parts. That's just my preference. You can do it however you want to, but we'll go ahead and create our plane. So define 3 points for the plane, 2 points to define x positive, and then also run, I'm going to use the center of a circle to define the origin, or 0, 0 when we think of a Cartesian coordinate. You can use the a point, center of a polygon, center of a sphere, however you want to create that point. You can do so. So once we've done that, we'll go ahead and press OK. And now we can start working in our functions. So because we use the front plane as our defining plane, I'm going to go ahead and take the probe of the microscribe and set it down on my front plane and press the green button. So that's going to automatically start sketching on the front plane, and then I'm going to hit auto sketch. So we'll hit auto sketch, and you can see in our info panel it says capture 2 points for line, 3 points for arc, and green click equals capture points. So we will hit the top button in 2 places to define a line, and then you can see where it says red click to delete last point. If we didn't like this last point that we did, we can delete that off and redo it, or if we want to delete both of them and start again, we can do that. And then red hold will define a line. So we'll hold down red, it creates a line. Now for the arcs, we'll go ahead and do 3 points, and then it's going to create the arc. So again, 2 points, define a line, 3 points, define an arc. Oh, and if you hit the red button twice, it'll erase it. Alright, so you can see how quickly we can do that. Now where the real magic of Point2CAD comes in play is when we want to clean all this up. So we want to create a full outline. So instead of having to sit here and trim all these entities together, we can just hold down red one more time, and it bumps everything out to exactly where we want to. So there's no extending out the entities, trimming the entities. It all becomes really quick and really easy. So now the even better part is when we want to extrude, hit our extrude button, come up to the top of the part, and we have our solid body. So now that we have a sketch plane, or we have a surface to work on up here, we'll go ahead and hit the top button one more time, start sketching on that surface, and at this point we can do arcs, we can do slots, circles, whatever you want to. Then we can hit extrude, extrude that down, and you can see where if we use our navigator, we can come in here and look and see how we extruded them down. Essentially, when you use the navigator, it turns the microscribe into a camera, and wherever that tip's looking is where you're going to be looking at. So you can see the power and functionality to easily create and manipulate models using SolidWorks. So hopefully this will give you a good insight and a good way to get started inside of Point2CAD. And if you have any further questions, feel free to take a look at our website, www.gomeasure3d.com, or feel free to give us a call at 434-946-9125. Thank you and have a great day.